What up, what up? Zach Bradshaw, long-winded guy, back again, talk about some charts. It's been several days. Life has been hectic and the charts have been hectic. I've been trading a lot, but I haven't had time to record any videos. And I recently just lost this chart because I had to refresh this page and I hadn't saved it. So I need to draw some of the things into this chart. I've already tried to make this video one time, so some of these lines have just more recently been drawn in. And I want to go over this and then talk about I need to lay it out on Ethereum and then now the Ethereum Bitcoin chart as well. I need to put levels in here and get rid of some of this other crap that's on this because I am just trading Ethereum and Bitcoin directly back and forth, kind of so I have a nice little trifecta between those two and the US dollar. Still a little bit shaky on how to execute everything perfectly, but I make these videos to get better at this stuff. So no further ado. So as this thing broke out here, I've just added several levels and reduced this. This was thicker before. It still looks significant, but not as significant to me. And I'd be curious of, a buy in this area if price is starting to come back down at this point, but I'm not sure that's going to because we might be on our way up to 61 or something like that right now. But um, as things stand right now, I've laid in, or lane in might be the right way to say this. I've laid in this little buy zone based on the closes of these several candles here, wick top, almost a test back down with this one, and then this level, which is the wick top here. And I could actually just raise this just a little bit, make it a little bit more perfect, a little bit more perfecter. And so then these wicks, and then this close here, and then this open, and you see the little zone there, and maybe for this to be viable, it might need to be a little bit longer, just see how things play out. A similar area to this one, and I'll be curious to see whether this one provides a nice buy as well. I'm not sure that I will buy because once it comes down there, we will reassess. Looking at the 4 hour, looks like we got some extra zones. Now I'm going to drop down to the 1 hour and see if there's anything else I can pick up. Maybe I could put a small, I will put just the most thinnest of lines here. And this line may play. Just if there's a retest, if this starts to come back down, maybe it gets front ran at this point. Maybe the buys come in here and the price never actually gets into the buy zone. So, if I was, right now I'm almost 100% into the market. Let's just look at it real quick over here. So I only have less than a percent of my whole portfolio is in US dollars right now, and I'm probably about to throw that in here shortly. There's no reason for this to just be sitting on the side. But as this goes up, I'll probably have some sell levels a little bit higher to maybe get this down, maybe get back to like 40% cash or maybe more, just depending on how it looks. And as I do that, if I've gotten into cash, and I was looking at this as a buy area here, and let's just say that for simplicity's sake, I wanted to go all the way back in. Well, the way that I might do it is I would put a small buy here. So let's just say I'm back to 50-50, 50% cash, 50% Bitcoin to make this simple. It comes up here to 61. I sell some, comes back down here, and I'm sitting with 50% of my cash on the side. I might buy with 5% of my stack here, and then maybe have 10% at this level, another 25% here, and if it goes and plays this well enough, I may buy it on its way back up as it crosses back above these levels to get all the way in. Might be the way that I do it. It's usually not as, I won't say not as well planned out as that. It is usually planned out like that. The execution doesn't always go perfectly because I do not like to put limit orders on the market and let them sit because the whales just will take your money when you do that. So not there yet. Maybe eventually I'll get into the automated orders and trust them a little bit more, but we need this market to be more bigger and more legitimate, essentially. So there's my Bitcoin chart. I'm gonna go ahead and save this one because I think it looks pretty darn good from where we're at from for where we're at right now. I really only care about the 12-hour and the 4-hour and like longer term time frames. But as this is trending, it's easier to find those levels on the 1 hour because it's the first time it's visiting those levels ever, 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 ever. And we only have so many high term time frame closes and opens to be able to really draw in these good levels. And now that I've zoomed out, that looks like a really good zone right there. Though it's awful thin to be holding up this much price action. Now I could come in here. I am for right now. I'm not going to save the chart like this, but I could go ahead and get rid of these just to make it easier to kind of see some of these levels. I mean, this level does matter. I don't care much about any of these levels in here, but I'm going to leave them for now. I don't care anything about this level. That level does look, I mean, I could kind of make two of them here. I like this one a little bit better. Then we have levels, yeah, a whole zone down here, and maybe as we would come back down, if we were looking to buy this, I might actually widen out this buy zone, and say something like that, down in the future. If it looks like it's going to come back down to these prices, I'm not sure it ever will. So right, these are just tentative plans. So this one is a little bit more, it's been cleaned up a little bit. Still looks kind of junky, but that one's good enough for now. Now over here to Ethereum, I mean, I guess on a 12-hour, it looks like it's about, there ain't much more to be drawn, but let's drop down here to a 4-hour, see if we get anything else. Maybe you could turn this into a little zone. Maybe it is a little buy zone, actually, looking at it. Though you could also go with these closes down here. This whole area might kind of be a buy area for me if I'm back into cash by the time it comes back down here. But other things are more likely to play out, and I'm not really seeing anything. I could get down with this level. It's not much, so I will drop its thickness. But let's say these closes. There's been a lot of testing with wicks, and then closes, opens and closes here. And it's not a lot, but just to highlight them, got to close here, or I guess this one is an open. So we got to close here, got to open here, got to close here, got to open here, got a wick test here, and maybe you could even call this a wick test. Though these things do look like they're reaching up to higher levels, so these levels look much more shaky to me than the ones that I was drawn on the Bitcoin chart, though those are not very sturdy lines either. I do think that this trend line here still plays for sure, so I'm actually gonna, and I could take this one and certainly thin it up because it's so far away at the very least. That is important though. That one's can stay its thickness. But then grab this and get me some of that. I should probably do that on a 12-hour because that was originally drawn on a 12-hour, and it looks like it's not quite hitting it perfect on that 4, but that's good enough for now. Let's just drop down to 1 hour real quick to see if there's anything else on this one. Nope, not really. So I like the way this chart looks now as well, and so I'm going to go ahead and save this one for sure as it is. Then, well, let's actually do this. There we go. Now we're on to this new chart that is kind of boggling my mind a little bit. I've got these lines in here that don't seem that helpful and look pretty crappy. So I'm going to thin these up. I mean, I'm not sure that they're not playing. I would delete them if I thought that they were completely useless, but I'm not sure that they are yet. So I'm going to leave them on the charts. So the way that I was looking at this crazy formation was that eventually it's going to like break out and go below one of these, or break out and go above and stay above this line. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's just my hypothesis or whatever. So as this broke down, as this, I think probably when it closed here, I moved to be probably like 95% in Bitcoin and 5% in Ethereum. But then when it closed back above here, I went the other way and added some more Ethereum and let go of some of my Bitcoin. I was at about 20% Ethereum when it did this, because I thought it would at least play up here to this line. And this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart, and it's basically right. You could look at it as it's Ethereum divided into Bitcoin, and that's how you get this number, this ratio here. But it's what I'm looking at with this chart is which of these is going to grow faster versus the US dollar, Bitcoin or Ethereum. And looking at this chart can help you understand that story and maybe find levels, find ratio levels, right? This is the ratio of Ethereum to Bitcoin or Ethereum priced in Bitcoins. But finding these levels and seeing where potentially when Bitcoin is going to take the reins or when Ethereum is going to take the reins across the whole market. So just now, as this broke back down and not closed, but as it went below these two wicks down here, as it went below these two wicks, I sold back into Bitcoin. So now I'm at these ratios that you saw a second ago. And I did that just before I got on this video. And here it is on the chart. So you see that this one, I basically took a loss where I bought Ethereum at this price of Bitcoin, or bought Ethereum with Bitcoin at this price in the ratio. So 37, it was up here. And then I let this thing go way, way too far. I'm didn't have my alert set. So I'm doing this so I can start to look at this chart in the same way that I look at the other chart, so I can set alerts so I can say, oh, okay, let me switch back or whatever. Let me push my money one way or the other. And so I ended up buying here and then I ended up selling all the way down here. So that's a horrible trade, essentially getting into more Ethereum versus Bitcoin and then selling back into Bitcoin at exactly the wrong times. Those should have been the other way, and that would be, a good trade, so to speak. It would be basically like a 10% move. Wait, is that 10%? Yeah. Well, no, not a full 10% because if this was also a 2, that would be 10%, but it's not. Okay, so, and that would only be on the way, well, it wouldn't be a full 10%, but okay, so now back to this chart that I'm trying to now clean up and turn into something respectable. So let's stick to this 12-hour, and maybe with this one, because these 12-hour closes did not play the way that I thought they might, I'm going to go to a daily view and see what the daily is telling me for levels. So there's some pretty obvious ones in here. Let's take this back in the history. Oh yeah, that's a super obvious level. Oh, okay. Well, that one's super obvious too. Okay. So we have several important touches here. It looks like it was holding down, it came up to this wick high, another wick high, held down the price there for a moment, came back up here. This was it's running up and it has the first rejection, goes through it, does not hold above either one of these two, comes back up again to it, and now it looks like it's ignoring it a bit more than it was before, to be honest. So those two, and let's get this one in, that looks even more significant. So it's this wick high, it's this right here, it's where it's basing on right now. It's this wick high, and if I would have drawn in these lines earlier, then, right, because I might even do it at these closes over here. If I drew in this line earlier, then I might not have just sold that. I would have realized that it was holding this potential level, and these candles basically just span that whole level, pretty much measuring those out. So I guess I need a lower level since it might be about to break next. This one looks like a decent one. That one does too. Maybe there's a zone in here. Mm. For simplicity's sake for now, because I'm still getting used to this chart. One of the things one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I'm used to looking at the Bitcoin chart and I can look at it and pretty much know, not to say know what's going to happen, but um, not create. I can develop nuanced expectations based on the chart, and I'm realizing that in looking at the Ethereum chart, to me, at this point where I sold this thing looked so sick. This looks like this chart is dying, or this rally is dying, and it was going to curl over and fall. Now, that's not what I've been thinking was going to happen. I think this thing is going to run up here to 22 or 2400, maybe even well past that if it does actually do something like this, right? That Bitcoin's been doing, but Ethereum's kind of it's been grinding its way up in a little bit different way. But as I went back and looked at the chart, many of these areas, I think it probably shows up best on a 1 hour. Many of these areas for Ethereum, it's like it always rolls over before it keeps going up. So this behavior right here looked really bad to me on Ethereum, right? This looks really bad, but it continued up. So where I actually sold out here, right? This is where I thought the new, okay, so let me explain why this was bad. So going up to here, the basing area for this run up is down here. If you break back below that, you're probably going to continue back below it. It means that the trend is probably reversed, or at least that's the way that would look to me on a Bitcoin chart. Is that now, okay, this thing is probably going to keep going down. Maybe it would be a little bit different if this was at least closer together, if these were closer to being level. But you see what happened, this secondary fall got bought back up and ended up back above this fairly quickly. And on to the next phase, it comes back down, it bases here again. And so you see it goes up, it doesn't come back down to there, and it goes up, it doesn't come back down to there, and it goes up. That's like an uptrend. But then it rolls all the way over like it did here, right? So here's your basing area, and it rolled, it tested it, and then it rolled all the way over on it. This one didn't even test it. This one just like shattered it and then bounced up off of, I mean, these moving averages. I'm not sure what is going on with this chart. I'm still trying to learn Ethereum. But as you scroll back, it like tends to be Ethereum's way, is that it will have a basing area and then it will shatter it, and it will have a, well, that's not one. Okay, so then it'll have another basing area and then it'll shatter it and still keep going up. And it doesn't always do it. So here's a down area and then it goes up, or here's a down area and I guess it did come back below that. And right on, depending on what chart I'm looking at, this is showing me like an hourly uptrend, hourly downtrend, hourly uptrend, hourly downtrend, hourly uptrend. If I zoom this out to a 12-hour, across the same span of time, there's not really a downtrend. I mean, it's only an uptrend, especially if you're looking at closes, because this one, right? So here's a higher close, then a higher close, right? So high, high. All right, so these ones do not make a new higher high, so they don't really matter in terms of setting in a new bottom. Now we get to a new higher high, and now we come back down, and now we get to a new higher high on the closes, and then I'm not even sure. All right, this one didn't even come down very far, and then it proceeded to move back up. So that's me learning this chart. At the same time, I just want to triangulate it, look at it from another perspective, so I can say like, okay, we might be coming to some of these important levels here, which may indicate that, okay, Ethereum or Bitcoin may be the one that's about to take the reins. With this chart specifically, it's a little bit different, and there's not many orders going away. There's not many orders going through on this chart compared to like the Bitcoin chart. So you see, these are all the orders that are coming in, just tick, tick, tick. Like that's a long time to go without an order. If I was over here looking on the Bitcoin chart, it's like you're seeing like 10 orders coming at a time. Boom, boom. all those cells, boom, all those cells, boom, right? And that was a whole bunch of buys and sells together, boom, right? This is a lot of people are trading this. This is an active market. Over here on Ethereum, it's not as fast as Bitcoin, but you see those things are coming trickling in. This one's about like the Ethereum chart, but I'm sure if I were to look at it, this one's traded 50,000 ETH back and forth this way. This one is traded, yeah, almost 4 times that. So this one has a much higher, many more people trading this chart than this chart. I feel like the Bitcoin chart and the Ethereum chart are more important, and that's definitely the way that I'm playing this or how this is set up. But this one may provide me another, another triangulation point. And since I am going to be trading some directly from Ethereum to Bitcoin and vice versa, man, that was actually a fucking buy level. And it was so obvious if I would have had these already drawn in, right? These are the type of lines that I tend to buy at, not sell at. So, sold if it breaks below it, probably if it went below like this point, I would say, okay, let me sell and then be ready to buy again here, potentially. But I did not execute properly. And now this is looking like a worse and worse trade, right? Because I ended up selling down there and it's already come back up, 1% since then. I think that's it with these. Got some new charts, and while I'm at it, well, the price all the way down there, but it's moving. It's breaking all these levels quickly. So let's see, just to put in some more levels on the top side here. Doesn't not seeing much though. Looks like it plays. Yeah, so we don't have much. So I'm just gonna go with 2 thin guys in here, and maybe I will put a third one, and maybe I'll even put a red box on that thing. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. All right, so maybe that's a sell level. I'm not sure about that. I'm actually gonna get rid of that box because I just don't like the way it looks on my chart. Green boxes look cool. That looks like crap. So let me know if you have any questions on this one. Anybody who watches my stupid trading videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.